the exact nature of the world.
Yes.
Because there is nothing to be attached. If all these things are mere phenomena caused by these vibrations.
Yes. Yes. So obvious, and yet it's so very hard to see.
Well, that is why the Lord Buddha said, my teaching is only for the purpose, is for the purpose of, only for the people who can think, who can reason, not for the ignorant sake. So deep and profound. The majority can't understand it. Only very few have developed themselves to think properly. Only for such persons it is meant.
Yes, yes. For those who can
Yes.
see clearly. Yes, yes, of course.
So his advice is to develop oneself to understand him,
Yes,
his teachings.
yes, yes, of course.
There is possibility for anybody to develop himself.
Yes. Every man has that possibility.
Yes, that possibility, that
Even-
potentiality is there.
Even the prisoner, the murderer.
Every person,
Yes.
even a murderer.
Yes.
Today he's a murderer, but tomorrow he may be a saint.
Yes. Yes. It is within him, in his mental life,
Yes.
in his mind and thoughts to bring about the changes and alter the states of the
Well, at the time of the Buddha, there was a murderer, man who murdered many people called Angulimala. A horrible person. Buddha met him. He gave one instruction. He absorbed his instruction. He began to think over it. In the next moment, he was a saint. He became Buddha's disciple, and he was one of the highest saints later.
Yes.
Yes.
Incredible.
So any culprit has that potentiality to become a saint.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
There is no unpardonable sinner from Buddhist point of view.
Could I ask you, when the thought process takes place, and the jhavana stage, you know the jhavana stage within the thought process,
Yes.
it's that very moment that one has a choice to perform either
Yes.
good or bad
Yes.
actions. Could you
When the thoughts arise or types of consciousness arise impulsively, there is a strong impulsion which are called jhavana. In this jhavana moment, when our thought stream, the thoughts of thought stream or consciousness that arise in thought stream comes to jhavana level, it is with these jhavana thoughts we make choice.
make a choice?
Yes.
So if I see a gentleman and I think I don't like him,
Yes.
it is at that stage I can
Jhavana.
cultivate kind, loving thoughts towards him.
Yes, jhavana.
Yes, at the jhavana stage.
Yes, jhavana stage.
And rectify, put right
Yes.
the karmic effects.
Well,
yes.
it is this jhavana thought which becomes karma.
Yes.
It is jhavana thought.
Oh, the jhavana thought.
Oh,
yes.
It is in jhavana thought that motive, that will and volition rises very strongly, which becomes karma, not other thoughts.
I see. Within the jhavana thoughts.
Jhavana, yes. In every thought's process, which has 17 thought movements, the 7 are jhavanas. The first jhavana, or first impulsive conscience, has the strength to give its result in this very life.
In this very life?
Yes. So we don't know so many things happen as a result of the first jhavanas that occur in our thought streams. And the 7th jhavana is strong enough to give its result in the immediate next life. It doesn't go beyond.
Not beyond?
No, beyond. After that it is inactive. The middle 5, they can give their results after the next life, at any time when they get an opportunity.
I see.
Yes.
So there are different stages within the jhavana process that
Yes.
become activated, either in this life, the next life, or future lives.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, as I mentioned now, the last moment of one's life, the dying moment, one of these jhavana thoughts recur
Yes.
according to what he sees in his last vision. Now suppose he has done some help to a poor man, and the last moment, at that moment, within him some jhavana thoughts arise. The same thing recurs there at the last moment when he remembers that. Then that becomes revived, it becomes strengthened, then it shapes the future life. But there also the last one, out of the 7, the last one becomes strong there in the last moment also.
Yes, I see.
Yes.
So it's very, very important to always be cultivating good thoughts and produce good acts of loving kindness.
Well, there is one thing. Our karmas are divided into several globes. Some are very heavy karmas, like murdering and such other things, heavy bad karmas. And practicing meditation, practicing loving kindness, helping some people in suffering, supporting them, treating one's own parents and such other things, there are some heavy good karmas. This heavy karma, one of these heavy karmas, the heaviest karma, recurs at the last moment. He remembers that. The impression is so strong, so it rises at the last moment when he see all what happens past as in a panorama.
Yes, when the senses are not
Yes.
functioning.
Suppose there is no such special heavy karma, then something he has done nearing his death.
Yes.
Some karma,
Just
either good or bad, it spring up at the moment. Suppose there is no such special thing, something he has done in his habitual karma.
Habitual karma.
Yes.
Yes.
One of them, he remembers and he fixes his mind on that, and then it gets strengthened at the last moment.
I see. Yes. So that could be performing meditation regularly, the habit of meditation
if a
regularly.
man is practicing meditation of loving kindness every moment, every day, most frequently as a habit, well, it will be very helpful for him to shape his future life, and it recurs at the last moment.
I see. And it helps to shape the vision.
Yes,
the
vision.
Towards the next
Yes.
rebirth. I see. There's a distinct difference between rebirth in Buddhism and reincarnation in Hinduism.
Well, reincarnation. We don't use the term reincarnation because within that term there is the idea of self. Because in Latin, carnis means flesh.
Yes.
Reincarnation means entering flesh. What enters? Soul enters, self enters. But Buddhism is against that idea.
Yes.
There is nothing to enter, but the stream flows.
Yes.
So we don't use the term reincarnation. Simply we call it rebecoming.
Rebecoming.
That's a Pali term, punabhava. The literal English rendering is rebecoming.
Rebecoming.
Or continuity.
Continuity. Yes. In actual fact, nothing ever remains long enough to become anything, does it? It's always changing. It never becomes. Yes. A man is never a man. A microphone is never a microphone because it's always in the process of changing.
Yes.
It's extraordinary. Yes. Yes. I think in the West, one of the most difficult things for the Westerner to understand is in Buddhism it teaches to show loving kindness towards oneself, which is very difficult for some. For a
Well,
lot
it is
of
very
Western
difficult
people.
because they are brought up in such a environment with such a belief impressed in their heart from the very young days that there is something called self or spirit or something like that.
Yes. Yes.
For such persons it's very difficult. But from Christian standard I can explain it in this way. What they call soul or self. We use the same term. They say it is unchanging self, but we say it is changing self.
Yes. Yes.
If I use a Christian term, self or soul, a changing soul is there,
Yes.
not unchanging.
Yes. I see. So you could say man has a personality.
Yes,
and yet it's a
personality.
changing personality.
Changing personality.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Then they will understand easily.
Yes.
One day a Christian minister, Christian priest came to me when he has some inclination towards Buddhism, so he wanted to clear this idea. If there is no self or ego, how this rebirth takes place? So I tried to explain it. He, to some extent, he understood, but still it was not clear I understood. Then I said, well, from your term, from your way, Christian way, I'd explain it. According to your belief, the soul there is something called soul or self, which is not subject to change. But from Buddhist point of view, it is changing self. It is changing soul.
Yes.
In that way. Oh, now it is clear to me, he said.
Yes. Yes. Could I move on and ask you another question?
Yes.
How can I put this? In Hinduism, in Vedanta, they state that behind all this phenomenal existence
is primordial.
Yes.
Cause is there.
Yes. Yes.
Behind all these things, there is that. Original, the cause of the origin, the primordial cause. That's what they say. It is this primordial cause which has caused all things to rise up as living beings, and again they return to that same. That's what they say. But according to Buddhism, there is no such thing. Well, and also according to them, what happens in the world here is Maya, illusion.
Yes.
Illusion. Well, actually it is illusion. What's the purpose of doing good? It is illusion. It is a dream. You need to try to return to the origin, because this is illusion. There is nothing to be done. Let illusion be illusion.
Yes.
There's no meaning of making an effort.
No, of course not. No. It's
So, from Buddhist point of view, this world is not illusion. There is changing states. There is reality of changing states, not reality of unchanging states. Really, there are changing states. It is not an illusion. But if you take it as unchanging, then it is an illusion.
yes. There's a vast difference.
Yes.
Yes. I think also that I've heard it said that consciousness, according to Vedanta, consciousness does not change.
Well, Vedanta also has so many divisions. Some say the individual consciousness is subject to change. But after he practices virtues and realize its elusive nature, he comes back to his origin. He becomes one with oneness. He becomes one with oneness. That is what they say. They accept the momentary change. They have some Vedantists and some Brahmin philosophers accept, because even in Vedanta there are so many branches. Even Brahmanism there are so many different views. But individual self is subject to change. It is the real self which they mean by oneness, ekatva, or the primordial cause, or Brahma. It is the only reality according to them. All other things are mere happenings. So, we living beings, according to them, are mere happenings, mere illusions. So long as we are, these illusions are happening there, they feel they are individuals, and they are subject to change and suffering. So, to get rid of this suffering, the illusion must stop it. That is what they say. Then when this illusion, though they are illusion, they understand their own nature, then illusion is no more. Then there is only Brahma, that oneness. That is what they teach.
Yes. Yes. But Buddha's teachings are quite different.
Well, Buddhist teaching is, as regards this momentary change, only we have to understand that. But it doesn't go to teach you how the life is originated and so on. Now, from Buddhist point of view, if you look at the thing, if these things are everything, all things in the world are rising and vanishing states, then of such states, logically, we can reason that if things are rising and vanishing every moment, they don't require an origin.
No, of course not.
Yes.
No.
Because every moment they're rising and vanishing.
Yes.
Such states are there.
Yes.
That's the nature of the universe everywhere.
That puts it quite clearly.
That is why
Yes.
what that Huxley, that famous philosopher, said, well, for such things which are subject to momentary change, it is not necessary to try to find out an original cause of such things. It is impossible, he says,
Yes.
in his essays.
Yes. According to Buddhism, would you say that consciousness on all levels
Yes,
is always changing? It's continuously changing?
yes,
The very root of consciousness, even the rebirth consciousness, all states of consciousness are always changing.
yes. I mean rising and vanishing.
Rising and vanishing. There's no such thing as unchanging consciousness,
No.
according to Buddhism.
No.
Yes. Well, I think you've answered most of my questions in great detail. Yes. How long, may I ask you, how long you have been a monk?
Pardon?
How long you have been a Buddhist monk?
Well, when I was 15, now I am 91.
91?
Yes.
When you were
When I was 15, I entered the order
Yes.
on my own accord.
On your own accord?
Yes. With much difficulty, I took permission from my parents. At last, after 2 years struggle, I was successful. I could get permission from my parents, and then I entered the order.
Yes. All those years. I believe at one time you actually met Krishnamurti.
Well,
yes.
as I remember, it was about 1927 or 26. For the first time I met him at Adyar in Madras in Theosophical headquarters. Then I met him one evening. Those days are the conventional days. Once a year, during December, they hold their Theosophical convention.
Yes.
For 1 month they hold the convention. During that time I was in the staff of Ananda College in Colombo. I was teaching Sanskrit and Pali there. So during my vacation, December vacation, I used to come to Adyar because those days I was a member of Theosophical Society.
Oh yes.
Yes. So I stayed there. Every evening I used to go to the beach and I was walking up and down. Meanwhile, casually, I met Krishnaji for the first time.
Casually. Yes.
He was 1 year elder to me. So we were just discovering that was the first time we met together and we became very friendly. After that, usually, every evening we meet there.
Oh, that's extraordinary. Yes. Yes. Would you have any idea how Krishnaji's enlightenment took place? Did he see this process, this empty process?
Well, I believe he has come to the same understanding of Buddhism from his own experience. So we Buddhists who know Buddhist philosophy properly and who have got some experience, they appreciate his teachings. It is nothing but a commentary to the Satipatthana Sutta delivered by the Buddha.
Of the Buddha. I see. Yes, yes, yes. To see that...
Because the Lord Buddha advised there a practitioner, a man who wants to develop himself and to get rid of all these troubles, he must be mindful and full of awareness. Be aware. What Krishnaji teaches is the same in a modern way.
Choiceless awareness.
Yes.
In a modern way.
Yes. If you read
Yes.
Krishnaji properly, Krishnaji talks, and read the Satipatthana Sutta, English translation of Satipatthana, you find the same thing.
Same thing.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. I've heard that you draw energy from the food you eat and from various things like trees and flowers that you yourself do.
Yes.
Is that something that's part of your meditation?
By your auto-suggestion,
What a suggestion.
giving suggestion to yourself, and if you develop the power of your will, you can do it.
Yes. Yes, you believe in auto-suggestion.
Yes, I believe that.
Yes.
Because though our consciousness is momentary, but it holds a very strong power within it, a strong potentiality. You have to develop it.
Yes.
Though thoughts are rising and vanishing, that strong thoughts, they also, in a stream when you develop it, they go rising and vanishing, full of strength.
I see, yes.
So
yes,
you can
yes.
develop willpower.
Yes,
In that
you
way
can
you can draw energy.
Yes, yes. So if there was, say, somebody that one didn't like,
Yes.
if one could cultivate these thoughts,
Yes.
picture them and say, may they be one and happy, may we be friendly towards one another, and cultivate these thoughts.
You can do it.
Yes, 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 yes.
You can codify.
Yes. Oh. Well, I think you've answered most of my questions now. I don't know if there's anything else you would like to add at all?
Well, well, in addition I will say something. Well, when a person would listen to what we have talked today, within his heart there may rise another question. That's possibly there rises another question. That is, if the being is a process in this way, there is no ego or itself, what is his goal? What the purpose of his religious life as a Buddhist?
Yes.
This question may rise up.
Yes, I can see that.
Well, by inference, we can understand if there is a change in process, there must be its opposite. some unchanging, eternal states beyond all this.
Yes.
Till the process meet that state, the process is there. When it meets that state, then this process is changed into unchanging states, which is beyond words.
Beyond description.
Beyond words means we can't express that state with positive terms, because all the positive terms we use here are coined to express the idea of the things we experience in the world. All are subject to change. The terms coined to express the things changing can't express the unchanging thing positively, unchanging state. Therefore it is beyond state, but it is there. It is not annihilation, not nothingness.
It's not nothingness.
Yes, the Lord Buddha said, as there is the things made and conditioned, there is a state unconditioned. For those who are in this, who are under these conditioned things, there's the hope in that unconditioned state. If there is no unconditioned state, there is no hope for such persons, such beings. So there is such a state. So Buddha definitely, with definiteness, he said, strongly, with much stress, he said, there is an unchanging, eternal, unconditioned, unmade state, yes, which is called nirvana.
Yes.
That's our goal.
Yes, yes. I'm sure that will answer a lot of questions. Yes. Well, thank you very much, Ananda Maitreya.
Yes.
It's been a great blessing.
Thank you.